Hello and welcome to the MLP2 Q&A. Yeah, I know, these are one of the 3 new Q&As, but I never really said, I never really said I would do them in order now, did I? No, I didn't. No, I did not. But yeah, figured, might as well get these Q&As out, at least one of them, and then move on to the next 2 later on. But yeah, let's go into this Q&A. But before we begin, as always with these Q&As, if I've missed someone's question, that usually means YouTube is being a dick and either marked it as spam or didn't even have it show up on my list at all. So I do deeply apologize for that. If I didn't mention your questions at all, if I missed someone's questions, that means YouTube is being a jerk. So let's get right into this. Okay, let's start things off with the Omnitron12345, whose first question is, do you think the Equestria Girls universe is secretly the Doug universe? You almost got me there, but I think the one thing that stops it is all the funny heads. Pun intended. I think it might be. I think it could be in a conspiracy sort of way, but I don't know. I don't put much stock in that. Plus, I'm not the biggest fan of Doug. There, I said it. I mean, I like Doug and all. I just never it was not one of my top priority of the '90s shows. You want to know what the top my top priority for '90s cartoons was? Yeah, Darkwing Duck, Gargoyles. Doug was kind of down there. I think why I wasn't the biggest fan of Doug was because it was just like an ordinary show. I mean, Hey Arnold was that too, but Hey Arnold was actually a little more funnier. And I don't know, maybe I gravitated more towards those characters than I did Doug. I don't know. I'm getting off topic here. I'm getting off very off topic, but to answer your question, I'm going to give it a solid maybe. That's something to meditate on. Alright. Second question is, if you could have dinosaurs as a living race in MLP, how would you have them? Animals or intelligent, or how would they fit in the universe? It's actually funny you bring that up, Omnitron. In one of the recent issues of the MLP comics, when they were doing like these little 2-part stories or standalone stories, there was one story in the MLP comics by IDW, and it featured Fluttershy alongside Discord and the CMC. And they're all together on this little time-traveling adventure, and they go back to the past, and we get to see dinosaurs, or at least the MLP version of dinosaurs. We don't see a lot of them, because it's all done in one story. I feel like this should have been a 2-parter, really, that story, because it was just a one-and-done. But yeah, you briefly get to see pony versions of dinosaurs. They don't talk or anything, and they kind of mention there's magic to them, but they don't really go in deep with them. But that's kind of canon, really. That's kind of canon. So anyway, and your final question is, since Korosami has become canon, do you think Fluttershy Rainbow Dash ship will ever be canon? In a perfect world, I think that would be a possibility. But I think, I mean, everyone has pretty much said, yeah, Rainbow Dash is gay. I mean, yeah, she's shipped with a lot of. I mean, seriously, Rainbow Dash is shipped with everybody. Every female character. I mean, like, all the main 6. Well, I don't see a lot of Raridash. I don't see a lot of that. But, yeah. I mean, I'd be down for that. I think, never say never, more or less. Never say never. So that's all I could say on the matter. So, thank you for those questions, Omnitron. Next coming up is Victor Da Silva, who asks, idea coming in my head, SpongeBob SquarePants meets the main 6, in their world or vice versa. Well, considering the ponies need to breathe air, I would have to say that this would have to be in Equestria. That's just me doing my Patrick Warburton voice. I'm not the best Patrick Warburton impersonator, so I'm going to try to stop. Okay, I need to stop now, or else I'll keep going. So what was I doing? Oh yeah. Yeah, so it would have to be their world, not the other way around. Okay, so long story short for this question, it's pretty much asking if they did an MLP game, what would it be? Pretty much, what kind of platform would I want an MLP game to be, like an official game? Because I know they've been a few, but there was one that was like Sim City, I think, and there's been a few others, but they've never been really official, like the Fighting is Magic game. I would have to say maybe an RPG game. I think that'd be really cool. Like, have them do this whole world quest kind of thing. I think that'd be really cool. Something maybe like, or you could do like the 2D platformer, like you mentioned, Victor, of, I would actually make it more like the Kirby games, like, or the Super Mario. Maybe do that, or have it kind of like the, oh, what the hell? I can't remember the type of platform, but like the Marvel Ultimate Alliance game where you could pick all these characters and have like a 4-party team and level them up as ever you see fit. Do something like, yeah, actually, now that I think that would probably be the better one. Kind of make it like Marvel Ultimate Alliance. You can just choose you could have like all these characters, and you could have up to 4 or 6. Actually, yeah, probably like his main 6 and all that. But it wouldn't be just the main 6. You could have 4 character. You could have a 6-party team that you could choose from, level them up however you see fit, and have all these different characters together, and go on some kind of crazy quest. There you go. All right. And last question of the day is MLP Universe introduced to a thing called anime. What would their exposure to it and why? Okay, so they're basically asking what would happen if MLP got exposed to anime. It depends on what kind of anime you expose them to, De Silva. I hate to burst your bubble, but it would have to be like Rainbow Dash could probably be into like Dragon Ball Z and Naruto, like the typical Shonen Jump. I think Fluttershy would be more into the Shono Ai. Like, I think she'd be very much into Nejima and card captors. There's a possibility. I think Fluttershy would be into card captors. I think also Rainbow Dash would be into Attack on Titan. I'm just saying. Twilight? I don't know what kind of anime she'd be into. I don't know. Pinky would be into, like, Lucky Star and Squid Girl. Those would be on there, definitely. I think they'd all, actually, now that I think about it, I think they'd all be into Sailor Moon. I'm just saying. Because they'd be like, it's us, guys, only human form. And weirdly dressed. Oh, that'd be hilarious. But yes, thank you for those questions, Victor. Victor De Silva. Moving on now to Cody Bradish, who asks... would you like to see an episode where Spike hangs out with the Cutie Mark Crusaders? I would like it, but here's the thing. It would have to be a good episode, because, let me ask you guys this. When's the last time we had a good Spike episode since Secret to My Excess? Don't worry, I'll wait. Nothing? Yeah, because we haven't got one since Secret to My... No, I think that's the only Spike episode, like, across the board people like. Like, if you look at all the other Spike episodes, especially last season of the Spike episodes, oh god, like, they were, like, borderline intolerable. Oh my god, like, the only one I've seen, me personally, and I'm not the only one on this, Secret of My Excess, the one where he goes all huge dragon, is the only episode I have seen that has been like, okay, I can tolerate this. And it's actually was a pretty good episode, but all the others, oh my god, they're bad. They're just bad. Alright, your second question, Cody, is, would you like to see Rainbow Dash and Scootaloo's Surrogate Sisterhood more focused in the future? I would. I mean, they brought it up in the horror-based episode. Like, not the horror-based episode, the one where Scootaloo's having bad dreams, and they haven't really touched on it since, so I'd like them to come back to that and maybe explain why Scootaloo looks up to Rainbow Dash so much. I'm just saying, you know, finally explain why she's very... And also explain, is she an orphan? Can we just have that finally? Or see her parents? Because my headcanon, in my little headcanon, whenever I do, like, MLP stories now and again, I usually have it that Scootaloo was she's adopted by Griffin. She was adopted by a Griffin family. She was taken in, but the father, her surrogate father, was like very much like, look, we love the kid, but we're Griffins. We can't take care of Pegasi, so we're gonna leave her here among her own kind, and then check on her now and again. It's probably for the best. So that's my headcanon. But yes, I would like to see that more. Okay, and your third question is thoughts on the announcement of the new MLP movie coming out in 2017, and what do you think it should be about? Okay, first off, this is the first time I've heard news of the big MLP movie in 2017. This is like, this is the first time I've heard. Wow. That's the first time. I mean, like, I heard little things back and forth, but they were just little rumors. Is that official? Is this, like, actually gonna, like, legit gonna happen? I mean, yeah, the Equestria Girls movies were released, but they were limited release at best, and they actually did some good money. But I don't know. It's like this might be official. This is the first time. If this is official, then this is the first time I've heard of it. Hopefully, it'll be really good. I'm like, maybe it'll be like it'll be like Lord of the Rings for ponies. I'm just saying. So anyway, thank you for those questions, Cody Bradish. Next comes James Ginty. James Ginty's first question is, what do you think? Why do you think that Vinyl Scratch is still mute? I think it's because, and I think it's a funny joke. This is more of a joke than I think anything official. I think the main reason why she's still mute is because if it was any other voice actor outside of like No Whacking, the fan voice for Vinyl, for those who like look at the fan stuff with Vinyl Scratch and all that, she does like the audio dramas, and she's mostly like the fan voice for Vinyl Scratch. If that wasn't the voice they heard, I think a lot like people would just rage. But I think the main reason is because I don't think they want to piss off the bronies, because the background characters more than the main six are more the fans' characters, and I think they're very tentative with that. I mean, hell, people, you remember the Derpy controversy? Yeah. So thank you for that question. Your next one is, who do you think is more vain, Rarity or Knockout? It's a draw, really. It's a draw. They're both pretty vain. They are some vain people. So, I don't know. It's a draw for me. Second question: who is best princess? It's predictable, but for me, it's Luna. You can't go wrong with Luna. You can't go wrong with the Princess of the Night. You cannot. So thank you for those questions, James Ginty. Moving right along to Mercedes Kirkland, who first question is, how many seasons of MLP would you like to have? Well, I don't want it to run too long. That's the thing you always got to look at. You don't want to see things run too long. I would be okay with, we're on season 5, so I would be okay with maybe 3 more seasons. Not counting this, but we get 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 seasons. So after this, not counting season 5 coming up, 3 more seasons. So I think season 8, that would be enough. And yeah, because I don't want this to run too long, because then it would just get a sour taste in everyone. I think like you would eventually, because here's the thing, you don't want to spoil a good thing. Because we've seen that before in a lot of shows where you're just like, oh, let it die, just let it die. It had a great run, but and I don't want to see that happen to MLP. I really don't. But on the other hand, I do want to see where these stories could go at the same time. You know what I mean? That's more or less what I'm saying. So maybe, if not 8, maybe just leave it at 10. 10 would, yeah, that seems like 8 to 10. There you go. And 10 is pushing it, but 8 would be a more reasonable number. Anyway, because I like the show, but I don't want it to go on forever. I know, that's a lot of things. Like, I want it to go on forever. Really, you want it to go as long as The Simpsons? Do you? Okay, so anyway, second question: what is your favorite MLP comic book arc? Ooh, I like this question. I think my favorite comic book arc is. I really like the Nightmare Rarity story. I think that's probably my favorite. Is the Nightmare Rarity story, not just because of the Mabel cameo. Yeah, Mabel from Gravity Falls makes a cameo in here as a pony character. You'll know it when you see it. Trust me. But it's not just that. I think it's a really good story, well rounded, and it's just a really nice story, and it really shows off Luna as a character. And there's just so many great scenes in there, like Luna leading the rest of Ponyville while the main six are imprisoned on the moon, and Nightmare Rarity and her nightmare soldiers are invading Ponyville, and Luna leads the charge, and she's got Trixie and Dr. Hooves and Vinyl Scratch and Octavia. They're all there, and they're just fighting for a little bit. It's really good. But if you were to ask me like another favorite arc of mine, I think another favorite story arc of mine would have to be the Earth 2 story. I know it's called something else. It's where they go through the mirror and they meet the good Sombra and the evil Celestia and Luna. That's a really good one too. That one that really extended Celestia as a character and really got to show off Star Swirl as well. I thought that was a very well thought out story, and it's a really heartbreaking ending. Like, I was like, dude, that ending gave me feels. I don't want to spoil it for everybody else who hasn't read it yet, but it's a really good story. It is. It's an ending that I did not expect to happen, but at the same time you're like, huh, it works, but at the same time you didn't see it coming. You know what I mean? And your final question is, what villain should team up? I personally like to see, like, if you're talking about, like, just MLP villains, maybe break out Tyrek and have him make his own evil Council of Evil with Sombra and Chrysalis. Maybe. There you go. So think of those questions, Mercedes Kirkland. Moving on now to Burnouter7, who asks, what would Twilight and your friends think of Spyro, Crash Bandicoot, Kirby, Link, Grimlock, TMNT, Randy Cunningham, Danny Phantom, Ben 10, and Goku? So, the TMNT one I'm not gonna answer because there's a more in-depth question later on in this Q&A. Someone else asked that question, so I'm going to answer, and I'll go more in depth with that part with the TMNT. So I will answer that fully when I get to that question. But for the other ones, Spyro, I think Spyro would have more in common with Spike. I think Spike would just look up to Spyro and be like, "You're my hero." Crash would be completely nuts. Do not put him in a room with Pinkie Pie. Dear Lord, the universe could not handle it. Kirby would be freaking amazing. Like, Fluttershy would just be all googly eye with Kirby, and Kirby just completely destroying everything because Kirby is the tiny pink destroyer of worlds. Link would also be really cool to see him like hang out with Rainbow Dash. I think that'd be really cool. Randy would not know what to do. Randy Cunningham would not know what to do. Being as the ninja, he would just be like, okay, talking horses, I have lost my mind. Same with Ben and Danny. I think those guys would be just completely out of it. Goku would be like, hey, talking horses, and proceed to eat everyone out of house and home and scare the living crap out of Discord in Super Saiyan God mode. Anyway. Your second question is, do you think that Twilight, Rainbow Dash, and Applejack could become Green Lanterns? It's a possibility. I think they all have the requirements for Green Lanterns. I mean, when you think about it, they really are a Hal Jordan, Guy Gardner, and Jon Stewart of the MLP unit. When you really think about it, it's like having a equestrian version of Guy, John, and Hal. Anyway. Third question is, what would happen if Goku fought Tyrek and Sombra? Not at the same time. It would have to be at the same time because Goku, at this point, he's become a god now, and I don't want to sound like, oh, Goku can beat everybody. Akira Toriyama's making that that statement pretty obvious. So probably, yeah, he'd beat the ever-loving shit out of them and make them want to stay in Tartarus. So, thank you for those questions. Moving on now to Christian Sager, who asks, first question, Discord versus Genie versus Mr. Mixelplex. It would all just be a game to who could annoy the most, who could annoy the other out of the other. And if you threw Bill Cipher in there, it would be a complete mess. It would be a complete clusterfuck. Second question: how would the Decepticons react to learning Rainbow Dash blew up Starscream in Death Battle? Oh, they'd laugh at him. When he would come home, he would come to the Decepticon base after being. Because if you guys have seen the death battle between Rainbow and Starscream, she ate him, ate his spark. So after that whole spiel happened, and Starscream reconstituted himself and limped back to base, no one would let him live it down. Nobody, not a single one. Like they would just be like, "Hey man, double rainbow." So thank you for those questions, Christian Sager. Moving on now to Major Badass, who asks, what would you like the MLP universe to cross over with, and what do you want the Equestria Girls universe to cross over with? Okay, I've talked about this before, but the MLP universe, I really want to do, like, Transformers MLP. Hasbro's two biggest things, seriously, yeah, like, why hasn't there been a thing yet, Hasbro? Why hasn't there been a thing, IDW? Seriously, why has that not been a thing, IDW? Come on. Do it. Just do it. Just do it. And for Equestria Girls, I've talked about this before, and again, this is under IDW, so you better do this in the future. Gem and the Holograms with Equestria Girls, I've had a whole story thought around that of, like, the Gem and the Holograms they show up and hang out with the Equestria Girls. I did a more in-depth talk about this when I talked about Gem and the Holograms getting their comic book, so you guys can go back to that video and see a little more in depth with it. But yeah, Gem and the mostly keep it all in Hasbro. Yeah. And your second question is, what obscure mythical creature would you like to see appear in the show or comics? They're not really obscure, but I really want to see, like, goblins and orcs and, goblins and orcs. I really want to see goblins and orcs, because, like, I really want to know, like, we haven't seen a lot of bipedal creatures, so that'd be interesting. And would they be, the orcs and goblins be good guys, or would they be bad guys? Or would they be like in Skyrim, where the orcs are just another civilization? I don't know. Just, that's my 2 cents. Alright. Third question. What would happen if Discord and Bill Cipher teamed up, or even fused? If they teamed up, well, here's the thing. Bill is pure evil. He's a dream demon. Discord's reformed, so they wouldn't really be working together. They'd be probably more like bickering and arguing and saying, like, who's better, and God help us if they all fused. That's all I could say. Also, bro hoof to you. So, thank you, Major Badass. Moving on now to my bro, Ed, Blue Goblin 01. Oh, it's so good to see you, Blue Goblin. Oh, it's so good. And I know you talked about this on your latest comic book review of wanting to get your questions, but yeah, you're going to get your wish, buddy. You're going to get your wish. So, this is the question I was talking about. If the main six were to cross over with TMNT, 4 Turtles plus April and Casey, which character pairings would work the best? Not like relationship, but more like have them team up is what he means. So, first and foremost, Twilight and Donnie. Twilight and Donatello. Yeah, let's face it, those two would be doing magic and science together. No, it'd be more like, Donatello trying to disprove magic, and at the same time, Twilight's trying to prove magic to him. But they would just be two eggheads at the end of the day. Moving on, Pinkie Pie and Michelangelo. That's a terrifying combination of putting Mikey and Pinky together. Ah. Let's see. April and Fluttershy. That'd probably be it. Raph and Rainbow Dash. Oh, God. You put those two in a room, they're not going to get along. Oh. But eventually, I think it would be more like eventually they'd just be like Knuckles and Sonic, where they'd be friendly rivals. That would probably be the possibility. Yeah, that'd probably be the possibility. And let's see, who would Casey and Applejack? Yeah, Casey and Applejack, and I don't know who would be like maybe Leo and Rarity. Like Leo, I don't know, because like Leo is like the odd one out, and so is Rarity in this case. Like I can figure out where the other ones could go. It's just like I guess put Leo and Rarity together. I don't know. So there you go. So your next question is, which MLP song caught you by surprise on how great and catchy it was? You said yours was Raise This Barn, which is better known by its parody name Racist Barn. I'm gonna say for me, I think the one that really like the song that really caught me off guard and how good it was Smile, that Pinkie Pie song from the Cranky Doodle Donkey episode. That one really caught me by surprise because I would go back and just listen to it over and over again. And then when another one that really caught me off guard was again the episode where Weird Al Yankovic guest starred as Cheese Sandwich. Those were just some great songs in there. Like all across the board, those are some really great songs. And also This Day Aria from the season 2 finale. You can't, deny that one's a really good one. But I think like the ones that really caught me off guard were all the Pinkie Pie songs. Again, Pinkie Pie is best pony to me. So, third question is: does it seem like bullshit that there's not much Applejack merch as there all for the other ponies? Someone here is an Applejack fan. I can answer this because I think the bottom line is Goblin, Ed. I think the bottom line is that Applejack, as much as she's a great character, she's not one of the most popular. I think that's the sad truth of it all. Is because when you talk to a lot of people, it's like, oh, who's your favorite? Who's your favorite of the main 6? They usually come up with Twilight, Rainbow Dash, Pinkie Pie. Me saying Pinkie Pie, being one of those people, or Fluttershy, or even Rarity. You don't really see a lot of Applejack. You really don't see a lot of Applejack fans. They are out there. They are out there, but I think it's because I don't know. I think it's because that's my only explanation. That is really my only explanation. And I'm not saying that Applejack's a terrible character. There's been points where I was like, why the hell are you doing this? Especially in the Bats episode, where she's just unbelievably, pig-headed and stubborn. But I'm not saying she's a bad character at all. I just don't think she's popular. With the, I mean, she's one of the main 6, but I think if you were to make like a graph of who was the most popular of the main 6, I think she'd be the lowest. And I really hate to say that, I really do. But that's the only explanation I can see. That's the only explanation I can see, and I don't mean to offend any Applejack fans out there. I like that character too, but I think it's because she might be the least favorite. But that is just what I think. I could be completely wrong. Maybe Hasbro just is like, it's Applejack, cowboy pony. Screw it. Let's go with the one that's all pink and the other one that's all rainbow. Yes. That could honestly what I just said of that Hasbro joke could honestly make more sense of why there's not a lot of Applejack merchandise than the bullshit one I just gave. Anyway, so bravo to you, Blue Goblin. Moving on now to Dragon Epic 94, who asks, do you think there's a Dragon Griffin changeling pre-registration in Equestria with ponies, too afraid of dragons and changelings, and making up stories about them? That could be one thing, but then we have seen that dragons are total assholes. They're all like when they're teenagers, they're like college frat boys. Griffins are I'd like to imagine that the Griffins are like Klingons, and that's kind of the headcanon around where they're more like the warrior race. But like the only asshole Griffin we've seen is really Gilda, and have not seen her since. And the Changelings are just like they invaded the capital of Equestria. They invaded Canterlot. I think they earned the title to be evil, but I think there might be good dragons out there. There might be other ones out there you don't know. Anyway, so your next question is if Star Swirl was really King Sombra and created by Discord instead of becoming him, how would you think the writers of that show would write it? So there is some people who theorize that either Discord was Star Swirl or he was created by Discord, and there are some people out there who say maybe King Sombra was really Star Swirl. I don't know, like, because in the comics they've shown that Star Swirl is a doddering old man who acted like who was pretty much Celestia's teacher and only friend for a while. That was it. Like, I guess they kind of canon. I guess until we see the official, him officially show up in the TV show, hopefully voiced by Sylvester McCoy. I don't know why. Out of everyone, like, who would I like? That's my fan pick for voicing Star Swirl is Sylvester McCoy. Most of you guys would know him best as the Seventh Doctor and Radagast the Brown from Lord of the Rings. But I don't know, like, his voice just seems like it would work for this kind of character. I don't know, like, I'm just saying Sylvester. Yeah, Sylvester McCoy for Star Swirl. But no, I don't know, like, the comics kind of... I think the comics kind of torpedoed that, but if they did decide, Star Swirl is really King Sombra, that would be interesting. That would be really interesting. Last question. What would a dragon-pony hybrid look like? No idea. No idea what that would look like. I have no clue. I have seen some fan art of what that would look like, but I don't know, like, me personally, how I would do that. I really don't know how. Anyway, so thank you for those questions, Dragon Epic. Next comes Nobody's. And he said, based on your Lanterns in the Marvel Universe video, wow, someone remembers that video? That was a long time ago. It feels like forever ago, doesn't it? But yeah, if one ring from each of the 7 Lantern Corps found their way to Equestria, which character would they choose? So 7 rings fall to Equestria. Which I'm going to answer this one because this is a little more broader of like all the cores together of the 7 rings. So I'm going to talk about who would get what ring. I'm going to have to say I think Fluttershy would get the Indigo Light. She would get the Indigo ring, and I'm trying to think of who would get... This is actually tough. I think Green Lantern would be Rainbow Dash. I think Green Lantern would be her. She would be the Green Lantern. So that's 2. Blue Lantern. Who would be a Blue Lantern here? I'm gonna have to say Twilight for Blue Lantern because she's always like trying to look at the bright side of things. She's always trying to be the optimist of the group. She's always trying to be optimistic. So I'm gonna have to say like Twilight for Blue Lantern. So there you go. Who would get the yellow? Well, I think this one's kind of easy. Tyrek would probably be the Sinestro Corps. Yeah, Tyrek would probably be in the Sinestro Corps. So who is left? I think for Red Lantern, let's talk about who would be a Red Lantern. Red Lantern would probably be, I don't know, Gilda. She was a pretty angry character, wasn't she? So Gilda for Red Lantern. Orange Lantern. Who would be the orange? Who would have the orange light? That would have to be like maybe Spike, or maybe even Yeah, Spike, because when he gets that dragon greed going, he gets it going. So yeah, Spike would probably be an Orange Lantern. And probably Celestia for White Lantern. Yeah, there you go. The white light would probably be with Celestia. Oh yeah, Star Sapphire. I almost forgot the Star Sapphire. That one's obvious. Cadence. Yeah, Cadence. She's the Princess of Love. Yeah, of course the Star Sapphire ring's going to go to her. How did I like that one? Was obvious. I almost forgot about that. All right. Okay, and your second question is: let's say if the 100th episode special, which focusing on the background characters, is so popular that IDW decides to make a spin-off comic series which stars those background characters. What kind of story would you want to see? Do we know that's the official idea for the 100th episode? Because I've heard a lot of things across the board. I really have heard like a lot of things, like what the 100th episode is going to be, and that's going to be very early in season 5, mind you. That is going to be very early in season 5, and doesn't feel too long, doesn't it? Like I'm legit surprised that we are getting the 100th episode so quick. It doesn't feel too long, does it? It really doesn't. But yeah, but getting back to the question, I have heard so many things across the board about this episode. I really have, like, is it going to be like an extended episode? Is it going to be like all this? Is it going to be like the background characters? Let's go into the assumption that it is under the background characters, and it does. Like, I would absolutely love it if we got a spin. I've wanted a spin-off comic of. I mean, we already have two. We have the main title, and then we have Friends Forever, which is pretty much the Marvel team-up of the MLP universe. It literally is. So, if we were to get like an MLP comic from IDW where it focuses on the background characters, that would be awesome. The kind of stories they would be in is like maybe they're like go off on their own adventures, and they don't mean to, unlike the MLP group who they try to protect people. They just get in these madcap situations, and they have to find their way out of it, and and they're completely just not prepared for anything. So that would, like, just a bunch of madcap stories of them getting in these wacky situations, and almost like Octavia turning to Vinyl almost every time is like, this is another great situation. This is another fine mess you've brought me into. Anyway, so your third question is, in an alternate universe where Princess Cadence is the element of magic, who would you choose to represent the other five? Not using Derpy, Time Turner, Lyra, Bon Bon, Vinyl Scratch, and Octavia. Ooh, clever. So, not using those background characters, the other five elements. Who would be the other five elements? Power through it. Zecora, Trixie, Big Mac. Zecora, Trixie, Big Mac, and grilled cheese, and let's go with Caramel. No, not Caramel. Brayburn. There you go. Anyway, thank you for those questions, nobodies. Next questions come from MSW Dark Angel 9889, whose first question is, I'm sure this would be difficult to write around, but what do you think of an aquatic creature visiting Equestria, mainly mermaids? That would be cool. I mean, we haven't seen really the sea life of Equestria, so that's a possibility. Hell, the sirens were kind of mermaidish. The sirens were kind of mermaidish. Sorry, I had to get some water. So, kind of, we got that. And your second question is, what are your thoughts on some of the unnecessary resentment towards MLP fans in the MLP universe? I know it's one of those kind of controversial topics out there, but it's something I want to hear your point of view on, especially being a brony. And, I don't know. I don't want to stay around. I don't really want to kick up that hornet's nest. I really just do not want to deal with that kind of stuff. I mean, I know it's out there, and I mean, just recently, my parents figured it out that I was a brony, and it was totally like more like a joke than anything else. Like they were joking about it. I was like, yeah, it's true. I like the show. I really like the TV show with the talking horses. I really like that show, and yeah. So I don't really like. I don't know how to. I'm really not the right person to answer this question. I really am not the right person to answer this kind of question of why there is so much hate towards this show and towards this fandom. I'm really not that kind of a guru. I'm really not guru material here. So I'm sorry. Your third question is: are there any character moments that help inspire moments of genius in your writing? For me, the battle between Chrysalis and Celestia gave me a good idea for a possible fight scene I was thinking of writing. Okay, that was for you. For me, I think it was a lot of just a lot of world building. I've been talking about the whole orcs and goblins thing. That's been something that's been kind of kicked up in my mind a lot of what kind of society in this universe orcs and goblins are like. I kind of got it in my head that the goblin race of Equestria in my headcanon is they're bipedal, but they usually walk on all fours like apes, and they're very quick. They're the size of chimpanzees, and they're very intelligent, but they live in shoddy huts and usually live in garbage in landfills because they eat garbage. That's literally their thing, is that they love eating garbage, but there's so much misconceptions about them. They're not really liked by the equestrian people, so they're really just scared out of it. They don't like being around ponies. They really do not like that. And some of the headcanon I had was that during Tyric's attack, a horde of goblins got driven out of their home, and they found their way to Ponyville, namely Sweet Apple Acres. And they were cutting down trees to make homes and build fires, and this really kind of obviously set up a lot of tension between them, and a friendship kind of formed between the CMC, the Cutie Mark Crusaders, and a trio of characters I created called the Ooze Brothers, which were Snot, Scuzz, and Scab, which were these trio of goblins who were kind of I literally based those characters off of Etta and Nettie. We had Scuzz, who was the loudmouth leader of the group. You had Snot, who was the smart one. Then we had Scab, who was the idiot, for lack of a better word. Orcs, I don't know. I'm still trying to build a good headcanon for orcs on those, so I'll get back to you on that one. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Dark Angel. Moving right along to ActionFan19, who asks, how excited would you be if the characters that will get focused on in the 100th episode are the secondary main six: Derpy, Dr. Hooves, Octavia, Vinyl Scratch, Lyra, and Bonbon. I'd really like that, but again, I've heard so many different things about the rumors of the 100th episode, who's going to be in it. I've heard so many things back and forth. Is it going to be about the background characters? Is it going to be an extended episode, an hour-long special? And, all this other kind of just really crazy team. I really heard so many crazy things, but if it is, and this is the one I'm really hoping for, the 100th episode is about the background characters, I would love it. I would absolutely love having all six of those characters come together and be they go through this epic quest, and it's just a normal day for the main six. You see them they're the background characters this time around, but they're handling this, Derpy, Dr. Hooves, Octavia, Vinyl Scratch, Lyra, and Bonbon. They're all, they're running around trying to stop this, apocalypse situation happening in Ponyville, and at the end of the day, they're just oh god, we're exhausted. And then, Twilight walks by and is you guys just don't do anything, do you? And they just give, this look of, fucking really, bitch? Anyway. So, answer your question, yes, I would really like that. Second question is, how fucked up would the world be if there was a triple team up between Chrysalis, Sombra, and Tyrek? I talked about this earlier. Yeah, it would be bad. That's all I can say. Your third question is, if the main six and Spike were Transformers, what kind of alternate modes would you see them having? Okay, I'm gonna cheat for Twilight because using Alicorn, both Pegasus and Unicorn. I'm gonna say for Alicorns are triple changers. So she could show jet mode for Twilight and I think for her other mode would be like a Jeep. No, not a Jeep, more like a yeah, maybe a Jeep. That's all I can think of. That would be her two alt modes. Rainbow Dash, her alt mode would be like an F-22 Raptor. Those kind of that fighter jet, that would be her alt mode. Rarity's alt mode, a Ferrari or something like that, like a Mazda Miata or a some kind of glittery sports car, like that just is super fast, just beautiful sports car. That would be Rarity right there. Applejack would be a bulldozer. That would be my thing. That would be my form for her. Pinkie Pie. Ice cream truck. You know it. I know it. That would be her move. That would be her alt mode, is an ice cream truck. The moment that she's given this ability, she'd be like, ice cream truck. You know it. That would be her. That would be her first pick. And for Fluttershy, I'm gonna say ambulance. Or animal control car. One of those two. For Spike, Minicon. So he would be a scooter. Yeah, he'd be like a scooter or something, and just hook up with Twilight, just become get this super gun, or maybe he just transforms to a sword for Twilight. I don't know. So, thank you for those questions, ActionFan19. Next is Robert Avram, who asked, Discord versus Rumpelstiltskin from Once Upon a Time. I have still yet to watch Once Upon a Time. I know people keep saying, why aren't you watching Once Upon a Time? I do want to watch it, and it's all on Netflix. I just haven't had the time to marathon it, because I know the moment I start watching it, I won't stop until someone physically tells me to stop. So, yeah. It's on my to-do list, don't get me wrong. So I really can't answer that. Second question, if you had to choose any two people to team up Celestia and Luna, who would they be and who would you pit them against and why? So, So if I was to have anyone team up with Celestia and Luna, I think maybe Midnighter and Apollo. Just cause. It's sister. It's sisters teaming up with the gay couple with the violent male couple pairing. But I think it would just be hilarious because their personalities are kind of almost identical. Because even though Apollo and Midnighter have done some horrible things, they're very meta about stuff. Like Luna, Luna and Midnighter, like Luna, to a lesser extent, is she can be a little distant. She's very distant, and she's still kind of haunted by her past. It's the same thing with Midnighter, that he's a little cold and distant from people, and he's kind of haunted by the things he's done in some extent, probably a lesser extent than Luna. And for Apollo, he's a very generous kind of. He's very happy at most of the time, and he can be, he's very optimistic, very much like Celestia. So their personalities would probably be, Celestia and Luna teaming up with Midnighter and Apollo would be probably a lot of fun. And who would I pit them against? Maybe Henry Bendrix from the Authority, the guy who literally destroyed Apollo and Midnighter's life. Also, Midnighter riding on Luna's back. Your argument is invalid. Midnighter writing Luna. Alright. Third question. If you had Discord's powers, what would you do with all that power? Pieces off the table. Yeah, because, well, what would I do with the powers of the God of Chaos? What would I do with all that? Well, I wasn't gonna say world peace anyway, so you didn't really have to put it there. Maybe just screw with people. Just, snap my fingers, make the Statue of Liberty come alive and stomp on people. Maybe do that. Maybe snap my fingers and turn the Golden Gate Bridge into jelly. Just 'cause. Stuff like that. I am the wrong person to give that kind of, give Discord's powers to. I am one of the worst people you would give, because I wouldn't be making, chocolate rain run down from the sky. It would be, horrible, horrible things I would do with that kind of power. Anyway, thank you for those questions, Robert Avram. Next comes Andre Partridge. Which female villain in MLP would you like to date or get to know the most? See, I'm not these kind of people who, if I could, I would date these animated characters. But let's say, for lack of a better word, what female villain I'd like to get to know. Chrysalis, because literally she can shapeshift. Come on, it's kind of like with Mystique, where you get if you had Chrysalis, it'd be like something new every night. Come on, you could come on, guys. Come on, guys. I can't be the only one who would be like, yeah, the shapeshifter is really cool. Let's go with that. So there you go. If I was to get a second pick, and again I'm just having fun with this question, guys. I think my second pick would probably be Sonata, one of the blue siren from the Rainbow Rocks movie. She's just. I'm just every time she showed up, I was like, Sonata is awesome, and I'm not the only one who thinks that. So there you go. Chrysalis first, then Sonata. The Sonatas would be my second pick. Anyway, second question: do you think Flash Sentry is a good match for Twilight as a love interest for her, and if not, what other characters could you see a perfect match for her instead? See, I don't like Flash Sentry. It's not because he's ruining my canon. He's ruining my. Twilight and all that. Twilight shouldn't have Flash Sentry and all that. I just don't like him because he does nothing. He does jack all. He's just there. I don't like that. When you just have a character there, when you have a character just show up, I don't really care when you bring up that type of character. That just shows up. And in Rainbow Rocks, it even makes it easier because he goes from the cool, Brad character to a bumbling idiot. And then he becomes a jerk thanks to the siren spell, so then you have a legit reason to hate him. I don't know, when he showed up, even in the teasers, I was like, oh, I'm not gonna like you, am I? That was literally, when the Equestria Girls teaser first came out, that was literally my thought process when I saw him in one of the teasers. I literally looked at him and went, I am not gonna like you. Anyway. But if you're asking who would be a good match for her, for Twilight, is Trixie out of the question? I'm just saying. Twitrix, that's my ship right there. That's one of my ships, MLP ships right there. Sorry. Anyway, thank you. Oh wait, you got one more question. All right. What do you think would happen if the main six, as the Power Ponies, would think of the following Batman Spider-Man villains: Joker, Green Goblin, Lex Luthor, Kingpin, the Rogues, and the Sinister Six, the original lineup. Joker, they would, I think the only ones that would, they already ran into Joker Green Goblin / Dr. Octopus already in the Maniac. They already ran into that, so I think they're pretty much good for 3 of those. Luthor is just incredibly intelligent. Kingpin's dangerous, because the thing about Kingpin, and this is what I like about him as a villain, is that he doesn't need to touch you to destroy your life, so that's what I like about, and he could probably do that as well. The Rogues, oh my god, I would love to see them as the Power Ponies fight the Rogues and the Sinister Six, because then you would have, Twilight versus Dr. Octopus, Electro versus Pinkie Pie. You'd also have, Rainbow Dash versus Sandman, Kraven versus Applejack, Rarity versus... I don't know who you'd pit Rarity against, honestly. Oh, Mysterio, there you go. Rarity versus Mysterio, and maybe Fluttershy versus the Vulture. There you go. Anyway. Boo Rat 1. Oh yeah, thank you for those questions, Andre. Moving on to Boo Rat 1, who is top 5 favorite episodes. I really, I can't really say my favorite episodes. I can name you some. Pretty much every Pinkie Pie episode. There you go. Every Pinkie Pie episode I love. Not just because I'm a Pinkie Pie fan. It's not just because I'm a Pinkie Pie fan I like those episodes. It's because those are legitimately written good nicely written episodes. All of them are really good, especially the Weird Al Yankovic one. Again, the songs were great, and I think the writing was really well done there. And I also love Party of One was the episode that got me into the show. That was the episode that made me go, sold. Yeah. So I can't really give you a definitive answer, but mostly the Pinkie Pie episodes. So this won't be too creepy. Let's just say these are the Equestria Girl power counterparts for one and of the age. Oh boy. For the fuck, marry, kill question. Chrysalis, Twist, or Maud? Kill Twist, because Twist is no. You already got my answer. It's good. Marry Chrysalis, because again, Chrysalis, shapeshifter. You can't go wrong with that. And fuck Maud. Obviously the Equestria Girls want it. This is too weird, Boo. This is too weird, Boo Rat. I mean, I just feel like you can't tell, but my skin is crawling right now. But I would just imagine, but just a side note, I would imagine Maud is a total freak. So, just throwing that out there. But yeah, first round pick, Chrysalis. Anyway, your third question, and hopefully this will be a palate cleaner. Favorite cameo reference, whatever mainstream pop culture within the show. Ooh, example, the Big Lebowski reference in the bowling alley and the Luquette twins from in Traja. Oh yeah, the Luquette twins from BioShock Infinite. No one mentions the Kratos pony. No one mentions the Kratos pony in that episode too. I think my favorite is the one you mentioned, the Big Lebowski reference. I literally, when I saw the Big Lebowski reference in this episode, I literally oh my god! Because for those who don't know, the Big Lebowski is one of my favorite movies ever. I don't know why I've never talked about on Zilla's favorite flicks, but yeah, the Big Lebowski is one of my favorite movies ever. So. Oh man! So that's probably my favorite. That's probably my favorite reference. Also, the Doctor Who's reference. You cannot go wrong with especially the one I really liked for Doctor Who's reference was the one where he's walking with Roseluck and he has the 3D glasses on. I was like, oh, I know what you're. I was literally like the Captain America scene. I got that reference. Anyway, thank you for those questions. I guess for the second, I'm not counting the second one, but thank you for the other two questions, Boo Rat. Um, so, moving right along to Darth Venom, who asks, well, I'm not a brony, I gotta ask this. What would happen if Superman, Deadpool, the Crystal Gems, Finn and Jake, Mordecai and Rigby, Goku, Thanos, Galactus, Thor, and Loki went to Equestria? Okay, do not put Deadpool and Pinky in the same room together. No, reality will not be. There will be a tear in the fourth wall so big no one will be able to fix it. Superman. There's a really cool There's a really cool animated short. It's really funny too of Superman meeting Celestia. I think that would be really cool to see actually Superman team up with Celestia in a story. Finn and Jake, they wouldn't be too far off from Boo. Mordecai and Rigby. Man, Rigby would be such a dick to everybody, but I think it would be hilarious, like, Fluttershy meeting Rigby and just giving him a hug, because, ooh, a talking raccoon, yay, and just hug him, and Rigby's like, get the f*** off me, and Mordecai just like, Goku I already talked about. Thanos, good lord, no, because I don't think even the rainbow power could stop him, same with Galactus. The Crystal Gems would also be really cool, especially Twilight and Pearl hanging out. That would be really cool to see Twilight and Pearl hang out, and also Amethyst and Pinkie Pie. Actually, no, probably Amethyst hanging out with both Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie. Thor and Loki, that would be interesting, to say the least. Alright, next questions come from, thank you for those questions, Darth Venom. Next comes from Travis Rendon, who asks, how would Spike react to Spyro and the world where Spyro is from? Like I said earlier, I think Spike would be like, you are the coolest dragon I've ever seen. You are my hero. Or something dumb like that, because Spike is not a great character at all, except that one episode. And that's the thing, too, is like, Spike, I want to like Spike, I really do. They do everything in their power to make me go, I just don't care about you. I really don't. I would actually, like, in some of my headcanon stories, I like to make Spike a villain. Like, he gets corrupted by dark magic and turns into, like, this jerk-ass teen dragon, and gets his, like, this posse together to go out and do douchebag things. Yeah. Anyway, I'm getting off topic, but yeah, I think he would just idolize Spyro. Second question: can you see or do you want Vinyl Scratch to be a permanent member of the main six and making it the main seven? Well, it would be she would be the part of the seventh member if it weren't for Sunset Shimmer. She's the seventh member technically. Technically speaking, she's the seventh member, but I think Vinyl does a lot better in the background. I mean, yeah, she helped in the second movie. She actually literally helped them, defeat the Sirens. She played a role in there, and also it was kind of weird because in the first promotional poster, she's in there, not Sunset. That's weird. So maybe make her the main 8, I guess. And your third question is, what do you think in season 5 Spike do you think Spike is finally going to grow? You mean grow as a character? Do you mean grow as a dragon, like grow up, growth wise, or do you think grow as a character because he's literally been he's like, again, it's irritating because I want to like Spike. I really do want to like the character of Spike, but they do everything in their power, like. Again, Secret of My Excess, I think, is the only episode where you can go, that's a good Spike episode. Even Power Ponies. Like, you just don't care. Like, Power Ponies would probably be the second episode. Like, that would be the number 2, but that's not saying a lot. The other ones where you're just like, I hate you. I just hate you. Because everything that's happened is on you. And you made it that way. Ugh. Anyway, to get your question, if you mean like grow as a character, yes, I would like that. To see him grow as grow up, that would even be better because seriously, he needs to grow up. He was growing up in Secret of My Excess, and we find out that greed is the thing. Are they just stifling his age? I don't know how Dragon Anatomy works in this universe. And, like, if they don't give him stuff, does that make him immortal? I don't know. This is the kind of shit that keeps me up at night, people. Anyway. So thank you for those questions. Moving on now to Matt Kaiser 08, who asks, if the ponies, Main 6, Spike, the princesses, CMC, Shining Armor, and Big Mac, to be precise, were inmates on Monster Island, which Monster Island inhabitants would they get along with the best? Example, Rainbow Dash and Rodan. Like, okay, let's say, like, they meet monsters and hang out. I think Fluttershy would just befriend all the monsters. Like, every monster they'd come up to, she'd be like, "Aw, you're adorable." Even to Gabra's a total dick, so no one's gonna like Gabra. Let's see. Like, Gabra's out. I think, like, Big Mac and Anguirus. I don't know, like, those two, like, Applejack with Anguirus, or Big Mac with Anguirus would be cool. Rodan and Rainbow Dash would be kind of cool. Maybe Twilight and Godzilla, that's the obvious one. Maybe Pinky and Minya. There you go. I don't know for the others. I honestly don't. I'm really sorry, Kaiser. I just can't think of who else like the other ones. But anyway, let's move on to your next question. Who is your least favorite MLP character? Maybe it's the character I've been ranting about several times over in this Q&A. Yeah, it's Spike. I know it's the obvious pick, but it's Spike. With Diamond T... Well, actually, no, I think I like Spike a little more, because he tries to be good, but he keeps fucking up. I think my least favorite character would probably be Diamond Tiara, because that character's a total bitch. I'm sorry. But no, Spike or Diamond Tiara, those characters right there. Just, yeah. And I really don't want to... That's the thing, like, I really don't want to shit on Spike, but, again, like, every episode... Not even just the Spike-eccentric episodes. A lot of episodes where he's just like, dude, really, come on, you are being an idiot or you're being an asshole. And sometimes he doesn't deserve it, but there are other times he does. Like, kind of like with Eddie, from Ed, Edd and Eddy, where he's like, sometimes he doesn't deserve it, but other times he does, because in a way he brings it on himself. That's what it's kind of like with being Spike. Anyway. Third question. What do you think each of the CMC's cutie marks will actually look like? I think for Sweetie Belle, it'll be like a microphone or a musical note. Actually, yeah, musical note. A skateboard for Scootaloo, and maybe a hammer for Apple Bloom. That's what I think. And thank you for those questions, Matt Kaiser. Moving on now to Wolfman the Impaler. Which fanfic is more disturbing, Cupcakes or the Gravity Falls fanfic, Dipper Goes to Taco Bell? Oh, God. Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy. Oh, boy. Well... Oh boy. Oh boy, 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 boy. Oh boy. Oh boy, how does one answer this? You see, I've never read Cupcakes. I've never read it, but I do know what it's about, and I've actually watched animatics and I've listened to fanfiction readings of it, and it's so disturbing because it's so far away from the show that I just cannot stand it, and I usually can't get through the whole ending. Because I know Rainbow Dash dies horribly at the end, but I've had the displeasure of reading Dipper Goes to Taco Bell, and it was totally by accident too. Like, it was like someone sent me a link to it. He's like, "Dude, you got to." I can't even remember. I think it was one of my it was one of my friends. I can't remember who it was, but he's like, "Dude, you've got to read this fan fiction. It is. I know you." I was like, "What's wrong with it?" And this is just when Gravity Falls was becoming, a thing. It was becoming very popular. He said, "This might ruin Gravity Falls for you," and I was like, you catty little bastard." And I read it, and I stopped halfway through, and I wanted to kill myself halfway through it, or at least lobotomize the part of my brain that's going to remember that. So I think I'm going to go with Dipper Goes to Taco Bell because I've had the displeasure of reading it. Whereas with Cupcakes, I know what it's about, but I've never really read the fan fiction, and I think the fandom's pretty much explained it to me enough to show, the fandom has said it enough where I was like, I don't really need to read the fan fiction because there's obviously, animatics, there's animated films, animated shorts, by fans, fanfiction readings and all that. I don't really think at this point I need to physically read the fan fiction, but I've had the displeasure of reading Dipper Goes to Taco Bell, and I really wish I didn't. So, it's going to be my answer right there. Your second question. You wake up in the middle of the night and Princess Celestia is in bed with you, looking at you with bedroom eyes. What do you do? Well, my first answer is going to be, what the hell are you doing here? Get out. And my second one's going to be, that happened. So yeah, Princess Celestia, oh boy. That would be, oh boy. Oh boy. So your final question is, the great and powerful Trixie, Cheese Sandwich, Spitfire, and Big Matt meet Strax from Doctor Who, Jet Jaguar, Rocket Raccoon, and Groot. What kind of adventures would they go on, and what kind of witty banter would they have? Okay, someone needs to write this as a fan fiction. Someone just needs to write this as not even have Strax, Doctor Who, Jet Jaguar, Rocket, and Groot in there. Just have Trixie, Cheese Sandwich, Spitfire, and Big Mac together. Have them just go on this wacky madcap adventure. Because that's literally like a Hangover group right there. That's literally like having the Hangover group together. You've got the very arrogant one, you've got the happy one, you've got the one that's very strict and by the rules, you've got the very laid-back one. That's like comedy material right there. But yeah, if you added Strax in there, Strax and Trixie arguing, that would be... I think most people want to blow their brains out by the end of it. Jet Jaguar, everyone would just be like, is that Ultraman? Are you Ultraman? He looks like Ultraman, I'm just saying. Rocket and Groot. I mean, seriously, I think Trixie would get, really sick of talking to Groot. Like, what is your name, Treat? I am Groot. Where do you come from? I am Groot. Yeah. And Rocket would, No. Actually, it would be better? Just have Groot and Big Mac together. That'd just be the easiest conversation ever. It'd be like, I am Groot. Yup. I am Groot. Yup. I am Groot. Nope. Yeah, totally. Big Mac and Groot would probably just understand each other. Oh boy. I'm having way too much fun with this Q&A, guys. If you guys haven't already noticed, I'm having way too much fun. So, Kobe Roaming, I do apologize, sir, for completely messing up this question, for messing up your name. I do apologize. But Kobe asks, if any pony were to have a kaiju companion, which pony to which kaiju? And you said Trixie to Gigan. See, I already got that. So, I already had the question before with Matt Kaiser, and yeah, I've already answered it, and it's going to be the same answer over. I don't know. I really cannot. I'm really not. I mean, I'm usually good with picking out who would work with what, but I really rack my brain over this, and I can't really think of anything. So I'm really sorry, Kobe. I can't really give you a good answer, and I really do apologize for possibly butchering your name. I do apologize for that. So let's move on now to Andrew Varney, who asks, What would the Sailor Scouts, Powerpuff Girls, and Isabella from Phineas and Ferb think of the main six? Okay, the Sailor Scouts, dear Lord, that would be... Because that's literally... You have their human counterparts put together. Seriously, you put Sailor Venus and Rarity in the room, they're going to be talking about fashion forever. Jupiter and Rainbow Dash would be competitive as all hell. Mars and, I mean, the possibilities are endless there. Powerpuff Girls, we kind of already got a crossover in Double Rainboom, but, having Buttercup and Rainbow Dash be competitive all the time. Fluttershy and Bubbles would be great, and Blossom and Twilight. There you go. And Isabella, oh, she'd be in heaven. Oh, Isabella would be in complete heaven right there. So, what would happen if the Doctor... Your second question is, what would happen if the Doctor landed in Equestria? Well, we already have the Doctor in there. He looks like a horse, and he's got a hourglass on his ass. Dr. Hooves. We already got Dr. Hooves, so... The Doctor's already... Technically, the Doctor's already there. Just saying. He's already there, but if the real Doctor was there... He'd look at I'd love it, if that would be a great scene, just him look at Doctor Who's and go, oh, I need to get the fuck out. Sorry about that. So, okay, your third question is, what might go down if Smaug, Mr. Popo, and Slender Man dropped by Equestria? Okay, Smaug. Smaug would probably get the stare from Fluttershy and back down. That would be worse than taking a black arrow to the chest. For him, he'd get the stare from Fluttershy, just be like, sorry, ma'am, I'm gonna go. Just go away now. Mr. Popo, I feel bad for every character if Popo showed up. He would just be like, alright, maggots, here's the pecking order. There's you, there's the dirt, there's the worms inside the dirt, Popo's stool, Commie, then Popo. And then Spike would obviously was like, any questions? Yeah. Boom! Ah! Enjoy the climb back up, bitch! That's my Mr. Popo voice. Bye. And for Slender Man, again, the stare would terrify him. I mean, he has no face, but the stare is all-consuming. Sending those questions, Andrew Varney. Moving on now to OverNerd03, who asks, if you've read Maximus Reborn's fanfic, Spiders and Magic, do you think it works as a Spider-Man MLP? I have not read it. I might actually check that out, Spiders and Magic. I might have to go out and check that out now, because I've not heard this fan fiction. So can't really answer, but I'm going to go check it out, OverNerd. Your next question is, what Transformers versus MLP death battles do you look forward to? If they did another one, Optimus versus Celestia. Yeah, Optimus versus Celestia. There you go. And I think for another one, Luna versus Megatron? Yeah, Luna versus Megatron, and those are the only two, really. Excuse me. Since Legend of Korra confirmed Korrasami, what same-sex MLP pairings do you want to see become canon? I'm going to answer this one because it's not like with Omnitron who said, Fluttershy and Rainbow Dash, just them. This is anyone. So, if, I don't know. Again, Korrasami really, opened some doors here, but I don't think it opened all the doors, right off the bat. But if you were to ask me, which ones I would like to see is, Twitrix, Twilight and Trixie together. Can we get that? Is that a possibility? Anyway, so that's probably my... Well, actually, no. I know a lot of people would prefer Rarajack. I know a lot of people... That's the new one, really. That's the new ship right there. That actually, no, it hasn't been like a new ship. It's just been a ship that's gotten bigger. Like, I think it's gotten as big as the Rainbow Dash Fluttershy one. The Rarejack one's become really big as of this season. Like, yeah, recently this season, it's kind of opened that door. So maybe that one, I guess. There you go. Think of those questions over Nerd03. Moving on now to Alec Johnson, who asks, would you like to see a Kirby My Little Pony crossover, and if so, what would the plot be? I would really like that, but I don't know what the plot would be. I really don't know what the plot would be. Have something to do with Meta Knight, because Meta Knight's badass. If there was a Spyro My Little Pony crossover, what would the plot be? Again, I really don't know. You see, that's the thing with a lot of these crossover questions, guys. When you ask me them, I really can't think of it like a crossover idea right off the bat most of the time. So I can't really give you an answer right off the bat, sadly. But anyway, yeah. Alright. Do you think Lord Hater from Wander Over Yonder would be a good MLP villain? And which of the main six do you... Okay, I'm just going to answer this part because this is the third... Oh, so, Lord Hater from Wander Over Yonder. I think he would make a really fun MLP villain because he's just so over the top, and sometimes he just can't... Like, sometimes he just doesn't even think of a problem, or sometimes he'll overthink it, and most of the MLP the main six will just look at each other like, yeah, we're gonna take you down now, and he's just off thinking, Banjo. If you've seen the episode, you'll know that reference. So thinking of those questions, Alec Johnson. Moving on now to the Spawn117, who asks, have you read the fanfic Friendship is Sanctioned? No, I have not. Sadly, no, I have not. What would happen if you and Abridged Vegeta were DBZ Abridged Vegeta were in the MLP universe, and you find that Rainbow Dash and Abridged Nappa have two Butterfingers? What happens? They can keep them. I'm not even going through that. They can keep the Butterfingers. I'm not even going through that headache. Hey, Vegeta, I've got a Butterfinger. I can't do Abridged Nappa. So thank you for this question, Spawn117. Moving on now to Sharingan 1230, who asks, Are you looking forward to season 5? Absolutely, I am very much looking forward to it. Can we finally get Grogar as a villain? I'm just saying, can we get Grogar? He was like the dark side of the original, one of the Generation series. So can we have him and be like this big ass bad guy throughout the entire season? Is that a possibility? What do you think about Equestria Academy, which is it is announced to be the TV series that takes place after Equestria Girls? Okay, I've heard about this, and I didn't realize that this was going to be an actual show. I thought they were just keeping the movies, and I heard rumors that this was going to be a TV show, and I was like, it's not going to happen. But I was like, if it does happen, I'm not going to watch it. But after watching Rainbow Rocks, I'm actually like, yeah, I'm actually pretty cool with the show, like it being a TV show, because Rainbow Rocks really stepped up the game and made it like, no, this universe can work. Give us some credit here, people. So, yeah, I'm actually kind of interested. Do we know it's going to be called Equestria Academy or not just Equestria Girls again? I don't know. And your third question is, what was your very first episode you saw? I started out with the first two episodes. The first two episodes of the whole Nightmare Moon story arc, that Twilight coming together and all that. And I was like, oh, that's cool. But again, like I said earlier, the episode that really got me into the show was Party of One with Pinkamena. And then what really got me into the show, that was the thing, was like, this is a really good show. But what really hooked me in, the episodes that really hooked me in were the, Return to Harmony, the first appearance of Discord, and having, feeling it more action-based. So, that was the one that I think, if you could say, like, really hooked me in, was Return to Harmony. Because I was like, this is a really good show, but I don't know if I'll keep... Oh my god, John Delancey! So thank you for those questions, Sharingan. Moving on now to Grod Hanks, who asks, what do you think of Lena Hall guest starring in season 5? Oh, that's cool. I think it's pretty cool that she's guest starring. I don't really know a lot of her work. I know she's been in a lot of Broadway stuff, so it's nice to see a Broadway singer show up. Still waiting on those other Star Trek guys, Delancey. You said something about the other Star Trek cast members being interested, so I'm waiting on that, Delancey. Alright, second question. If they ever made a Fiona and Cake style episode, how would you feel about Marina Sirtis playing a female Discord? Oh, I'd love that. Oh, that'd be awesome. This is because that works so well, like her playing Eris, or as in the fandom, the female version of Discord's called Babel. Eris, Babel, whatever, female Discord, played by Marina Sirtis. Yeah, I'm totally in. Yeah. And I already answered the the pony dragon offspring. I've already answered that question, so I'm gonna skip that. Moving on now to Jerkwater100, who asks, Twilight Sparkle versus Ludwig von Koopa from the Mario games. Who will win? Twilight, because Koopa, that guy is so full, got his head so far up his ass, he doesn't even know where daylight is. Have you ever read a fanfic called Celestia and Iroh Have Tea? I think I've heard of it, but I've never read of it. Actually, yeah, I've heard of it, but I've never read of it. That's yeah. I need to read that one day. Final question is, which famous actor, actress would you like to see guest starring on the show? Okay. Who would I like to see guest star on the show? Sylvester McCoy as Starswold the Bearded, as I've said. Christian Skull, voice of Mabel, as maybe one of Pinkie Pie's other sisters, or even like a cousin of Pinkie Pie who's even more hyper than her. Marina Sirtis, not just as female Discord. I would actually say Marina Sirtis more for playing a female villain, just a female female villain character, or maybe even Celestia's mother. Celestia and Luna's mother, maybe. Here's another one. Who else? Damn it! I had a whole list of these. I really did, and it's just in my head. I just had, and now they're just kind of going away. There's a few right there, honestly. So, yeah. There you go. Thank you for those questions, Jerkwater100. Moving on now to Grimlock1992, who asks, have you ever read read the fanfic called The Bridge, which is a Godzilla kaiju movie MLP crossover that stars Godzilla Jr., Mothra, Rodan, and Anguirus, and Destroy and Space Godzilla? I've read something like that. It's actually by another subscriber, Cody Bradish, which actually has... it takes place in the Heisei universe, and it's actually after Godzilla vs. Destroy, so Minya, or Junior, has become Godzilla, and he's brought to the MLP universe to fight these kaiju which have woken up, and he battles the Heisei version of Titanosaurus, the Heisei version of Kumonga, and Gabara. There's some just really cool fights. And again, it's come from Cody Bradish, who is one of the subscribers here. Really good story. I recommend everyone check that out. It's called Our Friend Godzilla, by the way. I can't believe I forgot to name the title, but yeah, the title is called Our Friend Godzilla. You can find it on fanfiction.net. So next question is Jackie Lee, who asks, have you read the fanfiction Shadow of Giants, which is a MLP Godzilla half-century war? Have not read it. Sadly, I have not read it. That's actually really cool that you mentioned it, because whenever you see Godzilla crossover, it really is kind of broad. But yeah, I think it's really cool that they actually did one of like the best IDW comic ever, like IDW Godzilla comic. So I'm really curious to check that out now. I'm really curious. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, Jackie Lee. And moving on to the next question, Damie Gravity Falls Fan 101. I'm terribly sorry if I butchered some of that name. He asks, I have only one question, but I'm not sure if it's been asked before, but whatever. What are your expectations for Season 5? I'm going to answer this one because this is more like my expectations for Season 5, rather than me looking forward to it. I'm very much looking forward to it. I saw a little preview of it, and it looks like there's going to be rather than just a little. In Season 4, they talked about the overarching. They did a little of They did the first overarching story in MLP technically, and this one looks like it's going to be really. It's going to spread that out more, which I'm really excited for seeing an overarching story. And I like to see like an overarching villain rather than one villain that just shows up at the beginning or one villain that shows up beginning at the end and not really do much else. I'd like to see like a recurring villain who has all these plans and kind of builds up towards the end. Again, that's why I say I want to see Grogar in this season because like he could be like like I've said before, the dark side of the MLP universe, and I would really think I would really like to see an overarching villain plot, someone who they have to clash with. Can't talk tonight, and someone they have to battle with on multiple occasions. So that would be that's my kind of expectation right there. So thank you for that question. Next, and the final person is Blue Electro 52, who asks, if you were a writer for MLP, and you were to ask to write a standalone episode of one of the main six, who would you pick, and what kind of episode would it be about? I think I would like to write a Pinkie Pie episode, and kind of loosely based on, there's an MLP standalone comic where Pinkie Pie meets one of her heroes, and he's just this rundown clown, and it's her trying to get him back into action. So I think I would make like an adaptation of that story, because it's a really heartfelt story, and I really liked it, and there's some really good humor in there as well. But that's just how I see it. Anyway, so that is pretty much all the questions. Once again, if I did not answer someone's question, that usually means YouTube was being a jerk and either marked it as spam or didn't even have it show up at all in the Q&A list. So I deeply apologize for that, and I apologize if I butchered anyone's name. But once again, I hope you all enjoyed this Q&A, and I will see you guys later.